Welcome back to New Day Spirituality. I'm the Sparkling One. Thank you so much for your subscriptions, your comments, and the donation that I received. I do appreciate your support. I love you guys. I apologize for my absence. Being a light worker, you know how we get attacked periodically. You have to have a clear mind to remote view, but I still was able to, remote view here and there, do some research and some reading. There's so much going on. I want to talk about the immigration crisis, and I also want the viral TikTok video of the AI stating that World War III would begin on November 23rd of 2023. I'm also putting together a Patreon video about the puppet masters of the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. We have to know the history and the origins of these factions, so that we can make clear decisions, so that we just won't jump on either side. It's very, very important because that's part of the plan. Albert Pike revealed this satanic Masonic plot to embroil the world along with the Middle East. And it's very important that we remain neutral. So it's going to be a very important video, but it's going to be a very controversial video. I believe that it's going to be too controversial, but I've compiled a lot of historical video, but shortened and condensed. I am going to post here on YouTube a video from Project Camelot's Bill Ryan, where he actually talked to a financial insider that reveals also this plot to embroil the world in this Middle Eastern war. So look out for that video, because I'm going to be posting that along with this one. Okay, so let's get into the remote viewing. The scene comes into focus. There is a dark radar screen before me. It looks like a radar map. As I'm focusing on it, looking at it, I get a sense that I'm way up high up in altitude. I'm looking at the radar. I notice little blips of light. These lights are moving. They seem to be like amassing at the border area, and then they're trickling through, moving all over. But it seems that the movement is purposeful. They probing these little blips of light. They have a purpose. Okay, they know where they're going. They're being guided. Actually, I felt that they were being given instructions on where to go. They were not bewildered. I didn't get a sense that they were bewildered or lost or anything like that. And I also just inherently knew that I was looking at people, but they were showing up on a radar map. They were blips of light, blips of moving lights, traveling to designated areas. These were bigger blips of light, but they were stationary. These lights weren't moving. Now, the target of this remote viewing session was the terrorists as they arrive at the border, and to follow them where they go. I began to see that these bigger blips of stationary lights, they span the entire country. They were laid out like a web, an interconnected web, a net. Okay, so that was the remote viewing session. So this is what I get from that session. This is not chaos. This is not crisis. The entire thing is being very controlled. People are tagged upon arrival. Now, we can speculate about the means of that tagging.
So this is primary inspection. So this is the initial point a traveler entering the country is going to come up to. So we've been getting ready for this for the past couple of months, realigning staffing, anticipating, working with governments on both sides of the border to include law enforcement and elected officials. And we were, long before we opened up November 8th, we were getting ready for this.
For the people who are coming across, what sort of documentation do they have to have with them when they're ready to present?
So there's U.S. citizens and legal permanent residents who just need to declare their citizenship or present their immigration document. Truck drivers are still considered essential travelers, so they just need their crossing visa. Now, what we started new with November 8th was the fully vaccinated visa holders that could come in. So they need to come in, present their documentation as far as immigration documents, and then declare to the officer that whether or not they're fully vaccinated.
But they're definitely tagged to the point where they are showing up on satellite and they're being tracked. These people are being tagged at the border somehow, then tracked on their locations. And what I also get from this is that they're revealing where the sleeper cells are, because upon arrival they're getting their instructions and their meetup locations where they're going to be stationed. Okay, so we can assume here that the ones who are watching this radar are the alphabet boys, okay, or the alphabet agencies. And this tracking allows the alphabet agencies to uncover these sleeper cells and know exactly where they're located. So I'm going to surmise that one of the reasons for these open borders is to locate terrorist cells. By allowing the agents to enter, then they are chipped or tagged somehow and then followed to their sleeper cell locations. I looked into how these people are being processed. They are given a mandatory, it's also mandatory that the males sign up for the military draft. Also, I've done several tarot readings looking into what is going on with this immigration crisis. And each and every time, the tarot wanted to relate to me an emphasis on the Eight of Pentacles, the worker. Okay, so with that, I surmise that the majority of these people are simply workers, and they will be a replacement workforce for America. A lot of things that happen here in America applies to Europe because they're losing control of the current population. People are getting more informed. People are awakening. They're trying to block out radiation waves from the sun and the central sun. It's not working. People are waking up. They're planning this world war. They've been planning it for quite some time. They're going to need to call a draft. I do believe they're going to attempt to draft and recruit college-aged people, but the backup plan will be these migrants that have been forced to register with the Selective Service. So one of you guys brought to my attention a certain TikTok video that has gone viral. As you guys know, TikTok started out as a social experiment to affect us negatively with our cognitive abilities, specifically our attention spans. But it has become overrun with starseeds who are spreading information like wildfire on all sorts of topics.
Alexa, when will World War III start?
World War III will start on November 23, 2023 at 6:05 p.m. when Russia launches an attack against Germany.
So yes, Putin is going to invade Europe. He's coming. I've talked about it in some of my videos. Safe zones for Europe. I tell people to get out of his way. I felt like this was worth looking into with remote viewing. So I actually did a few sessions. And first pass, the first impression that I got was that a volcano was erupting at a distance, but it was affecting this land of Germany. People are stranded, restricted. There's water contamination. There's a problem with the water supply. I did another session in which I was in Germany on the 23rd of November, and I was searching for news headlines, television broadcasts, and the news is it's ominous. It's about war. It's war news. People are very fearful as they watch it. Fear, lots of fear. There's some pertinent war news that comes out the day before, like the 22nd. And by the 23rd, people are afraid. They're afraid to move about normally. This news has something to do with nuclear bombing, or nuclear tampering at a nuclear site, sabotage, terrorist tampering of a nuclear site. But it's fear and it's propaganda. It has something to do with nuclear bombing or sabotage of a nuclear site. Okay, so I did another remote viewing session, and I saw people being displaced. They're being evacuated from their homes and they're being relocated. They're being taken to makeshift shelters like sports stadiums, gymnasiums are being turned into shelters for people. I'm not sure if these people are from, I'm not sure if Germany is going to take in Palestinians, or this is about the people of Germany themselves being displaced from their homes. If that's the case, I don't think that's going to happen around the 23rd. I feel like that's going to happen further out. That's a date further out where Germans would be affected to that extent by this war. I did another remote viewing session where I wanted to tap into Putin's mind, and I wanted to try to get a sense of his war plans. He's concerned for his country. Putin wants resources, energy, coal. The coal industry is about to explode. Gas, agriculture, food. That is what Russia wants. There is some fear here too. An impending doom. It's gonna sound crazy. They fear something coming from space. They fear an inbound meteor crash. Russia is a large landmass. It's a fear-driven need to secure resources for a future impending disaster. He's gonna do something big like a EMP or a Poseidon bomb. That's how he's coming. That's how Putin is coming. He's going to clear the way first. I did one last remote viewing session because I wanted to know, why is AI Siri saying this? This is a part of propaganda. This is purposeful propaganda. And it's also to mask and cover up a future plan involving Germany's government. This is going to be a false carried out upon the German people, and it's going to be blamed on Putin and Russia. Some rogue missile, it's shot down just in the nick of time, but it creates so much fear. It might even justify a lockdown, because that is the goal. That's the goal, is to get people locked down. World War III safe zones for Europe. I try to put the warning out for people to maneuver themselves into safe locations out of harm's way. Okay, Lightworkers, stay safe. Be mindful about your preparations due to the impending economic reset and the increasing earth changes. We're in the middle of a huge cleansing process. Observe, don't absorb. Don't buy into the fear propaganda. Knowledge dispels fear. If you are interested in a personal reading with me, all of my links are below in the description box. If you're wanting to schedule an appointment with me, just send me a text first, because I may not get the notification. I love you guys. I will see you soon in the next video.